I'm sorry for being late for this lecture, but Dr. Warren had time to explain to you about this experience. Sometimes it is easier to understand this from a person who has achieved it than to understand from a person who is talking from some 10th story. That's what my father told me, that if somebody is born on the 10th story, the rest of them are on the first floor. If you start telling them from there, they will first of all not listen, nor will they understand what you see. It's not proper that we should try to tell them something from a level to a level which is still there, static, in their mind. So one has to raise their consciousness 2-3 stories so they start seeing that there's something beyond. But in doing so, so many mistakes have been there before, and some people have done it deliberately. Some are misguided and some are doing it deliberately. Net result is just the same. Even if you give poison to someone by mistake or in a misguided way, the result is the same. In the same way, whether you are misguided or whether you do it deliberately, whatever is wrong has an effect on the Kundalini. Now the Aquarian age is the word I picked up from Dr. Warren, which is so true today. Aquarian means the water carrier, and in Sanskrit language it is called as Kumbha. Kumbha is the one what we call the Kundalini. The Muladhara is the Kumbha, where the Kundalini is there, the power of Kundalini is there. So to call it an Aquarian age must be some work of some realized soul who could see that in this age the Kundalini is going to be awakened, and that an age will start of people getting their Kundalini awakened. Now I have already talked to you the other day about this second center, which is called as Swadhisthana, which gives us our sustenance and also our power to create. The sustenance is created inside that green part, which is represented by main 10 primordial masters. These 10 primordial masters had another series of masters who were called as disciple principles. Now about these people I have talked to you last time, but today I would like to speak to you about other centers, especially this Nabi, which is the navel center, which is very important in human beings. This is the center by which we seek. When in amoeba stage we seek food. At a higher level we start seeking heights, like when they became mammoth and all these animals, they wanted to have a height, to go over the trees, to be able to master them and to eat the leaves. But they became so much outsized with their height that they had to become smaller animals, like say intelligent animals, and like say cats and things like that, cat family. And this is how the evolution has been brought forth through our seeking as amoeba, then as animals, and now as human beings. As we have evolved higher and higher, we have become subtler and subtler in our seeking. For example, the people who are seeking, say, power, are not so evolved as people who are seeking their spirit, no doubt about it. Because you have gone through that, you have had enough of it. Maybe last lives you might have been kings and queens, and you must have seen all the jokes of it. So you said now it's had enough of it, this power business. We don't want to have any more. Such a headache we don't want to have. So the people who are seeking money also are the people who have had enough of it and they were fed up of it. So they said, now we have had enough. So now you are seekers of something beyond. It has been always so, something beyond we seek. But this seeking beyond is not described to so many people and they are not able to understand what is the beyond. That's why this center is very important of your evolutionary process. Now, first of all, as I have told you, that we have to be in balance. That's one thing we must have, is the balance in life. I mean, in common sense also we can see, supposing there's a car going only on one wheel, how many would like to travel by that? Anything that you do in life has to have a balance. Otherwise, anything, even catching something, holding something, or small things, even riding a bicycle, you know that you have to have a balance. So if the Kundalini has to move, you have to be a balanced personality, a personality with a temperate nature and must have a balanced attitude towards life. That is very important. But in case it is not, you can be sucked into the central path of the Sushumna, in the central path of your evolution. Now the evolution takes place by remaining in the central path. Those who go to the extremes fall out of this. Now the virus that we suffer from very commonly is nothing but a kind of a vegetable which is fallen out of evolution. Now the vegetable that we call as tobacco is going to fall out of complete evolution, and you will be surprised after some years you will not find any tobacco growing anywhere because it will go out of evolution. Thanks to human beings that they misunderstood the role of tobacco. Tobacco is an insecticide. It is to be used for killing the insects and not to kill yourself. But we sometimes forget that whatever God has created for the good, sometimes we can use it for our destruction. Same is alcohol. Alcohol was created for polishing. It's very good. For example, if you have to polish your crystal, you should use gin. It's very good for diamonds or anything. It's just a polish. It's a polish for the for anything. It gives a polish. See, alcohol is a polish and its composition is such that it gives a polish to a thing. Now God wanted you to have polished surfaces and polished things and all the clean look of it, so He gave you this polish. Now you started drinking it. Now what to do? He never asked you to drink. But if you drink that, then it polishes your intestines also. But it has its own nature. It doesn't have any idea of morality. Poor thing. We can't blame the alcohol because it is supposed to polish. Wherever you put it, it polishes. All right. So it polishes your liver also nicely. And when the liver is nicely polished, then what happens? That the heat from the liver, which is for the expulsion from the body, it has to pass into the bloodstream, cannot, because there's a barrier. And because of that barrier, poor liver does not know what to do. It just goes on accumulating all the heat within it, and that's how your liver goes out of circulation of anything. You have liver problems and you feel very giddy, nauseating, and liver is the one which really cleanses your attention. Whatever you gather from your attention, it cleanses. So you become horrid. You are all the time angry, hot-tempered, you bark at people all the time. All that thing is typically liverish, you see. You grow tall like that, absolutely straight line, and you become very hot-tempered. Sometimes you could be hawk-like. People will be afraid of going nearer such a person because such a person can be very dry personality. And that's why you'll find drunkard people, if they are over-drunk, you go near them, they'll just beat you for nothing at all. It sometimes happens that by chance If you go and ask some drunkard that was the time in the night, you will have it. So, because it spoils your awareness. And in that awareness, a nice man also could be like that. But of course, there could be a case where a person might become better. That is also another thing that can happen when you get possessed by this left side movement, because alcohol reduces your awareness, and you go to the left side, movement to the left side may give you a feeling, oh, I'm very much better now, and sort of you get happy because your ego is subsided and everything is all right, and I'm really morbid now, I cannot hit anyone, and let me have a little bit and sleep off. But next day there's the hangover, and you feel so horrible with it that you don't know what to do. I mean, it's something, then again you want to have it in the night because you want to again go to the same realm into the left side. Now this left side realm apparently shows that there is reduction in the weight of the ego, but it does not, it wobbles. What happens that you go to the superego on the left hand side, you see there, and the ego then thinks that it has gone down because the superego increases in size. But when superego increases, the ego is pushed down, and then when you come to your ego condition, then it pushes down. So there's a big wobbling going on, and such people get ultimately very much confused. They might end up in a lunatic asylum, I don't know what they do, but when they are even sane, you can find they lose the grip over life. For example, such people can become very frivolous and cannot feel the joy of life without drinking. It's most amazing that people can't enjoy each other unless and until there's a glass in between. I mean, human beings are so beautiful, and they have the capacity to enjoy each other so much. They are the only ones who are blessed more than anybody else. But if there's a glass all the time in between, then they can just bark at each other. They cannot enjoy each other. The enjoyment should be complete when there's nothing in between. Now this is what I was telling you, this Nabhi Chakra. This Nabhi Chakra gets ruined also when we take to alcohols or serious things like that, drugs, and even I've seen certain medicines can spoil this. Then you get a problem with other things like digestion, you get constipation, all sorts of things take place by which you develop gas troubles and other troubles, and then your heart troubles, and it goes on one after another. I do not say that it's only alcohol that will cause. There are other causes also, but alcohol can never be helpful in giving you good health. Some people have a feeling that if you take alcohol then only you will keep good health. It's a wrong thing. Because health is not only physical health, it's also mental health. People think that physical health is the end of everything. Is absolutely wrong, because we are not only the physical being. We are also the mental being and the emotional being. And when you play too much with your Nabhi Chakra, you have the biggest problem, and that is that you can never be successful in life as far as enjoyment is concerned of your achievements. For example, a person becomes rich, unduly rich he becomes, is a blessing, I should say, of Nabhi Chakra on the right hand side. Right hand side Nabhi Chakra can give you a lot of wealth, a lot of money, and you'll have 10 cars and 15 people attending to you, everything you may have. But it cannot give you the satisfaction of life. You will go on accumulating and end up with a suicide or something like that, and you would not know why you are bent upon committing suicide. That's why in all affluent countries you find people are planning to commit suicide, and the more affluent they are, the worse it is.